I will start with a problem that we are trying to address as a coalition. Certainly behind us are a number of other players that we have been working with for a long time. Working with Operation Wealth Creation, whose mandate has been to transition the millions of Ugandan households that are stuck in subsistence farming into the commercial agriculture. So we are a nation of smallholders who are left behind. As you know, agriculture employs over 70% of the workforce, yet majority of the farming households remain locked in subsistence production, generating barely enough food to survive, let alone sell, invest, and grow. In terms of food, of course, we have been producing sufficient food since Operation Wealth Creation was established in 2013, but a big number of people are yet to produce for the market. So there have been a number of efforts, including the most recent one, the PDM. So there are structural barriers that are well documented. For example, fragmented land holdings, limited access to quality inputs, near absent post-harvest infrastructure, and a financial system that has historically excluded rural smallholder farmers from credit and capital. The PDM has introduced 100 million per parish over the last 4 to 5 years, and that is addressing squarely the issue of access to capital, but the other obstacles need to be addressed. So the result is a paradox: a fertile, agriculturally rich nation where rural poverty persists as a stubborn national challenge. So the human cost of inaction across Uganda, 10,594 parishes. Millions of households are eligible for transformative government programs like PDM, yet remain unaware, unengaged, or unable to access them without structural support. I'll talk about some of these later on. Government capital dispersed through PDM reaches communities, but without farmer education, enterprise selection, guidance, and demonstration of viable models, conversion from cash to sustainable enterprise remain dangerously low. Yes, we have put in the capital that people need to be guided on enterprise selection, on access to quality inputs, on viable business models where they can invest this money so that they can generate enough profit which they can use to repay their loans but also remain strong as businesses. Young people, who constitute over 70% of our population, are abandoning agriculture as a livelihood, perceiving it as neither modern nor profitable. Without deliberate intervention, Uganda risks losing an entire generation of potential agropreneurs, precisely when it can least afford to. So our response: 5 critical pillars of national development, i.e. Operation Wealth Creation, the Uganda Development Forum, Uganda National Farmers Federation, the PDM Secretariat, and the local government authorities that are represented by the chief administrative officers and town clerks through the Ministry of Local Government. We have established a coordinated operational partnership to address agricultural transformation, not through isolated interventions, but through an integrated parish-level implementation framework. This coalition is not ceremonial. It represents a fundamental restructuring of how government wealth creation programs are designed, communicated, demonstrated, and embedded at the grassroots. Each partner brings a distinct and non-duplicating capabilities. The president of the Farmers Federation has hinted on what UNFE will do. But OWC provides on-the-ground mobilization, reach across every district, every constituency in the country. UNFE will mobilize, promote, and train farmers across the country. Uganda Development Forum contributes strategic stakeholder facilitation and development alignment, where you need the big players, big companies, big banks across the country to participate in this partnership. UDF will be there to support. The PDM Secretariat ensures capital deployment is matched by enterprise alignment and readiness. And local governments will provide the constitutional authority and the community trust to make farmer engagement credible, sustained, and accountable. The president of the Farmers Federation talked about the 4 areas where we will be partnering. So we are looking at farmer education at the parish level. Our coalition is deploying structured farmer education programs through practical training centers and OWC's teams in every district. Every parish will have a practical training center. It is not a hall. We will have model farmers where farmers will come and learn from each other practically. They will learn by doing in each and every parish. So in these practical training centers, they will be taught on how to select the right enterprises. They will be taught on good agricultural agronomic practices, access to markets, and these centers will act as a farmers' address in a parish. So if you need to meet farmers in parish Kagere Kamu, you will go to the practical training center and convene them. So those service providers like input dealers, the big buyers will come to these centers to first educate the farmers. The second one is enterprise selection and incubation. A number of people venture into agriculture without guidance. Some think you need a lot of money. Some think if I have the land, I am ready to go. And without proper guidance on enterprise selection, a number of our farmers may not achieve their goals. So as a result, our coalition will be training a number of community-based facilitators across the country and through the PDM network to enable our people to select enterprise. The president has been talking about a Chibaro. Minister of Agriculture has been talking about ecological zoning. But there are over 10 factors that a farmer must put into consideration before they select the right enterprise. So these are very simple things like markets, the initial capital outlay, availability of land, you talk about risks, you talk about experience in the enterprise, the ecological suitability, inclusiveness. So there are 10 factors that every Ugandan need to appreciate before they venture into agriculture. And we as a partnership will make sure that everybody across the country who wants to venture into farming is guided adequately. We'll also undertake live demonstrations as proof of concept. Again, this we will do through model farmers and our practical training centers where good agronomic practices can be demonstrated. For example, under the parish development model, somebody accesses 1 million shillings to undertake a chosen enterprise. So there will be a center in every parish where somebody will go and they are shown what $1 million worth enterprise, for example, piggery, looks like, what $1 million can do in poultry, what $1 million can do in coffee, and so on and so forth. So those demonstrations will be there. But His Excellency, the President, also talks about the 4-acre model. We will be able to demonstrate this 4-acre model in our parishes through our model farmers and the network of service providers that we have to make sure that farmers appreciate the significance of the 4-acre model and how they can maximize returns. The last one is we will work together to promote successful story profiling. In this particular case, we need the media to enable us profile the successful farmers across the country and create visibility so that people can pick lessons from these success stories. And then once they have appreciated it, they will go and do it in their homes.